freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 290 of Gun Freedom Radio, where we engage, we educate, and we inform. We are brought to you by azfirearms.com, your nationwide hometown gun shop. I am one of your hosts, Cheryl Todd.
And I'm that other guy, Dan Todd. Our theme today is freedom, not fear. Our guest today is Kevin Sona. Kevin is the director of special projects for the Florida Carry, which is a nonprofit, nonpartisan grassroots organization dedicated to advancing the fundamental civil rights of Floridians to keep and bear arms for self-defense as guaranteed by the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. Guaranteed.
Awesome.
No, you don't get your money. You
No
get your
money back.
No, money back guaranteed.
Money back guarantee.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show, Kevin.
Thank you, guys. I'm glad. We've tried to do this a few times, and our schedules never seem to mix well. So I'm glad to be here.
Well, I am super jazzed for you to be here, and we're going to take a deep dive into an event that you're planning in Florida and that I am so fortunate enough to get to come to and speak at. But first, I want to ask you, how is your little Dottie sticker doing? How is she holding up?
You know what? How long has it been on here now? Well over a year.
Well over a year
since Phoenix.
Gun rights policy conference 2019.
It's holding up, but it's a little beat up on my Panther concealment holster. But I'm not going to take it off till you're down here. And actually, if you remember, Cheryl, I didn't put the sticker on. You did.
That was such a cool thing, honestly. So Kevin came all the way to Phoenix from Florida for the Gun Rights Policy Conference 2019. That thing has been on there for a long time. And he was so, kind about, he loved the sticker with the little Dottie figure. And he's like, here, put this on my holster. I'm like, you do not want a girl sticker on your He goes, no, I do. And I'm like, okay, I'm putting it on. And he said, okay. And so there it is. She's hanging in there. And you know what? When I come to Florida, we do have an updated version. I don't know. It's going to be a tough decision for you, which one you want. But I just love that. And every once in a while on Facebook, he'll make mention of, manly man. He's got his holster on, his open carry. And then there's my little Dottie sticker hanging in there. I love it.
Well, people will ask, what is the sticker about? And I get to share some fun stories, and I get to promote Gun Freedom Radio. So it works out for me. It works out for you. I love it.
And polka dots, even today, polka dots are my camo. So I'm like a floating head right now. You can't even see me, right? Because of my camo. Anyway, I just think that is so fun. And thank you so much for being so generous to let me put a sticker on your rig. That is amazing. All right. So I made a mention, alluded to, as it were, just this tiny little event, that you're going to be holding in Florida, itty bitty little thing. Not even itty bitty at all. The speaker lineup is phenomenal. Yep. And you have titled it, and I've stolen your title for today's show, Freedom, Not Fear. Just give us the whole rundown. When is it? Where is it? Who can come? The whole thing.
It's scheduled for March 20th, Saturday, March 20th, at Runaway Campers in Summerfield, Florida. That's a whole nother story we'll get into with Runaway and how that came about. But the event basically started 4 years ago just as a fellowship, just to get together with some friends and camp and have families and just gather around the campfire and have fun. And all of a sudden it's grown into, basically, I kind of coined it a mini GRPC, but in the woods.
Yeah,
So
but in the woods.
That's basically what it is. It's just a way to network and educate. Florida Carries, we have three main goals with Florida Carry. That is education, legislation, and unfortunately litigation if we have to do that. So I really try to concentrate on the education side of things. And that's where Cheryl and Dan come into play, and all our other guest speakers.
Oh, I'm just there to do the luggage. That's, I guess.
No, be fair. He is all about trying to figure out how to go deep sea fishing while we're there for like 2 whole days. So I don't know how he's going to manage that, but and he does carry the luggage, so he's good at that.
Well, I can't hook you up with a deep sea fishing thing yet, but I can hook you up with my buddy Scott Road Charters out of Port Charlotte. So that's ready if you want to go.
How about alligators?
There's plenty of alligators.
Are we going to?
He has a bank stick.
Well, are we going to see any in the campground area there?
Say no.
No, not over there. No.
Thank goodness.
Oh, man.
I was like, wait a minute. Let me rethink
bears?
this whole thing.
We could see black bear, deer, wild hogs, and probably a ton of raccoons.
What about the snakes? Those snakes are hunting in Florida right now.
I don't want to anything about
the pythons.
That.
Pythons, yeah. Maybe we could find a python.
I haven't seen any pythons here, but we did take out a very, very large rattlesnake here once.
Really?
Rattlesnakes.
Yeah, Diamondback.
That's our gig here in Arizona.
Yeah,
the rattlesnakes.
Yeah, we have Eastern Diamondbacks here.
That's crazy. All right, so now why are you pairing? I'm saying this for people like here in Arizona, where we have constitutional carry, we have really great, freedoms so far for our gun rights. Why are you pairing a camping event, right, with a firearms event? What's the deal there?
See, in Florida, unlike Arizona, we don't have constitutional carry. We have to beg for permission here. So basically, we can only open carry in the state of Florida if we're engaged in hunting, fishing, camping, or going target shooting to and from. So we hold fishing events. Right? No, technically, no. We kind of frown on that. Even though it hasn't been challenged yet, there's no case law on that. But the whole thing is, it kind of started at, let's get together, let's open carry, let's try to educate some people in the campground, which we have done over the years. We've had FWC join us, and they're relieved and really enjoyed the event every year. That's where it basically came into play. We hold fishing events where we gather on piers and we actually fish. We don't do it as a publicity stunt. We fish. I am a fisherman. Yes. So I go fishing all the time. So this is just a way, if you want to open carry, you can. If you don't have to. You don't even have to carry a gun.
Yeah, I keep telling people, you have to be fishing in order to have a firearm with you in Florida. And people, they just do that whole Scooby-Doo head shake. Like, what? Yeah. What are you talking about? What is open carrying? But then you get to show off, the sticker, the camo polka dots are my camo sticker. So while you're fishing.
That's the only reason why I do it.
That's what I thought.
That doesn't make sense to me. So you can, while you're fishing, you can carry a gun. While you're hunting, you can carry a gun. But when you're in a rough side of town,
unless there's water nearby, and
it has to. It has to be concealed. So see, under Florida law, you can open carry or conceal carry without the license, as long as you're engaged in those activities, which is Florida Statute 790.253H.
Okay.
What were they thinking?
I don't know. That's a good question to ask. I think Janet Reno, when we lost open carry in Florida back in '87, I think it was.
Well, I am excited that you are educating in the ways that you are, and I think that's very clever that you're just using your natural, hobby, your natural behavior. You were going to go fishing anyway. Yep. So now let's educate some folks at the same time. I think that's really wonderful. And then it's kind of blown up and morphed into this huge speaker event where you have, when you say it's like a mini gun rights policy conference, you are not kidding. There are, some big names that are coming to, spend some time around a campfire and a microphone. And just brag a little bit. Who's going to be out there with us?
Well, I got to spend some time with Eric Pratt with Gun Owners of America last August at Rick Ector's event that he holds in Detroit every year, the free women's firearms class. So I was able to convince Eric Pratt to come on out and join us and speak at the event. I think I've been begging you, Cheryl, and Amanda for a while. You guys have been like my bucket list people that I wanted to attend the event.
You're sweet.
I look at it like this. All the guest speakers that are here inspire me. I look up to them, not just because I'm short, but I look up to them. But it's the same thing. I want to try to introduce you guys to people that don't know who you are yet. So I look at it as, if Rick Ector, if you, Cheryl, if Amanda or Dan Wass can inspire someone like you guys do for me, that's better off for us as a community, as a 2A community. My whole goal is to try to get people active, to get people vocal, not to sit back and wait for someone else to speak up for them, because they're that someone. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I have a pipe dream. I tell people all the time, I fight very hard. My pipe dream is this. I fight as hard as I do now in the hopes that my kids, your grandkids, won't have to. I know it's a pipe dream, but it's not going to slow me down.
Boy, amen to that. I really admire organizations, like Florida Carry. Craig DeLuz is going to be one of the speakers, and he wears two hats, Florida Carry and FPC out of California, Firearms Policy Coalition, and organizations that work as though you want to work yourself out of a job. And I don't know that we've seen that in some other organizations. But I do see that, the organizations that are really going to the mats in the legislature and in the courts, and, really trying to move the line and move the needle back to, shall not be infringed, which is what our founders gave us as an inheritance, that we really want to be without a job, right? We want to work that out of and hope that these people that are so power hungry have some other ball of yarn that they want to play with all the time and leave the Second Amendment alone. So I agree with you 100%. For our children and our children's children, whatever we're doing or not doing in our lifetime, it's going to impact them. So how about we secure these particular rights? So I so admire that, Kevin.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So super jazzed about this event, Freedom Not Fear. How do folks, and we're going to touch on this a couple times because we want people to be involved. I mean, make some travel plans. This is worth traveling for. Driving distance is fine. People are already in Florida, but how do people learn more about, are there tickets? Are you selling tickets? Like, how does this whole thing work?
The event comes in 100% free. Everything is done free. During the event, we're gonna have lunch. We're gonna barbecue. So we're gonna have hamburgers, hot dogs, drinks during the event. And during our 1 hour lunch break during the event is when Realize Firearms Awareness Coalition with Amanda Suffolk will be putting on her concealed carry fashion show. So I'm jazzed about that.
Yes.
But
are you gonna model? Are you going on the runway?
I think I'm going to.
You should totally do it. It is
so
the most
is my
fun
wife
thing
Sarah.
Ever. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I think that's the plan.
I love it. You totally should do that. Amanda does an amazing job.
I've asked Amanda if she'd let me do it, but she says I can't wear a thong.
Oh no.
With a holster on stage.
No, we don't. Nobody wants to even think about that. Okay.
Too late. It's in your mind.
Yeah, it really is. And so, the facility, Kevin, that you're holding this awesome event at, here we are in this crazy time that we're living in. We've been through a year of COVID, and it doesn't seem to really be trying to go away, at least the regulations and whatnot. So it's harder to gather together. Then you add in, that we're going to be talking about, get ready to clutch your pearls and gasp, guns, right? And our gun rights. Oh my goodness. And so there's a lot of facilities that just aren't even available to us. And so I think maybe we should spend a minute and just appreciate, in this time of cancel culture, the facility that has opened its arms and said, yes, you can congregate here And yes, you can talk about gun stuff here, and we celebrate that along with you. Who is our host facility?
Our host is Runaway Campers out of Summerfield, Florida. It's a family-owned business that I've followed for a while. They build little miniature campers, small campers, like some campers that can be towed with a motorcycle, small SUVs, small cars, little like 6x8 campers, just basically bed on wheels. And they're built very, very well. They hold an event every year called their Runaway Reunion, and I always watch their videos. So I knew they had a property with a big pavilion. So I went over there and contacted them because none of the state's parks were taking reservations for large gatherings. So I was pretty jammed up with that. So I went and met with Justin Shives and Steven Shives, and they were very interested in it. And they were like, unfortunately, we sold our property.
What?
But we have an idea. And they didn't tell me what the idea was yet. But they said, can you give us a list of your speakers so we can kind of vet them, make sure it meshes with my company? I said, absolutely. I think you'll be happy. So I gave them a list of our lineup, and I gave videos of last year's event with everyone speaking. So they called me back and said, we're game. Come visit us. Come see us. So I went, met with them, and Steven Shive brought me into their big, large finishing shop where they finish all their campers off with, decals, fenders, things like that. And he said, Kevin, here's our idea. We're going to clear the shop out Thursday.
No.
We're going to clear the shop out Thursday. It's air conditioned. It's got a PA system. We can hold it in here. I am absolutely blessed with that, and I was blown away.
Yes. Anybody that has a working shop or has been in a working shop, what a undertaking that is going to be for them to do.
And as you mentioned, the cancel culture going on. Runaway is taking heat now from individuals that don't like freedom.
Right.
And I've had some people comment on my event saying it's political. We don't need this stuff. And I'm like, look at the title. Freedom, not fear. We're educating. We're talking firearms education, training, things like that. Isn't that what so-called the anti-gunners claim they want? So if they claim they want it, why are they attacking us now for it?
Beautifully said.
Well, all I can say is the people that are complaining about it are the ones that aren't going to buy the campers anyway because they don't want to give it away from their blankies, right? So it's not going to affect them. In fact, they'll probably promote them more because there'll be other people say, "Hey, that's a great idea. I'll buy one of those campers." So.
Absolutely. That is phenomenal. And yeah, in any ways that we can support people who are supporting us, we need to do it. And I don't know, is there anything, if our listeners, people watching on YouTube and GunStreamer today, is there anything that we can do instrumentally to just, support the Justin and Steven Shives of Runaway Campers?
Sure. Go to runaway.com. Send them an email. Give them a phone call, tell them thank you. Go to their Facebook page, which is Runaway Campers. Like their page. Shoot them a message. Just tell them thank you. We appreciate everything. Because basically they really are saving this event. And that's God's honest truth. They basically are saving this event. Or we were going to hold it in some closed up supermarket parking lot somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, you were going to make it happen no matter what it took. And I do know that. But
it was going to happen.
To have people step in such a generous way as Runaway Campers has is huge. And I would love it. Everybody listening, watching right now, let's try to be sure that they get 10 positive emails or phone calls or texts or whatever Facebook messages, 10 to every one possible, negative with somebody their nose stuck up in the air against our freedom. So, seriously, that's time well spent. All right, let's talk about your state specifically. Okay. We've got, the state of Arizona, as I said, AZCDL is our rights group out here, and they have done a phenomenal job of keeping an eye on, bills and legislation and even people coming into office to help educate the citizenry about how we can be involved and what we can do to help preserve our rights. Now, you have a massive state of Florida. I mean, holy cow. And you, like Arizona, you have a lot of people that come there to retire or, lots of different reasons. So people bring their ideas and their politics with them when they migrate there. That can be a challenge sometimes. So what would you say is the biggest challenge in your state? Is it state issues? Is it these new really draconian federal bills that are being talked about? Or is it maybe the apathy of the citizenry, the lack that they don't, a lack of awareness? Like, what would you say?
That's it. You nailed it. Because what I was just about to say was this may not make too many people happy. The issue we have in Florida are gun owners who aren't active. That's our big thing is trying to get people active. It doesn't take much to send an email or make a phone call. It really doesn't take that much energy. I think people spend more time complaining about what's going on than doing and helping, fix it and letting our representatives know, nah, it's not going to work.
Yes.
Type of thing. That's our big thing. I will say nationally though, most of the gun community is just pretty laid back and complacent in ways. And I keep saying it can't just be us. It can't just be Florida Carry. It can't just be the Second Amendment Foundation or GOA, because those organizations are nothing without the people. We're absolutely nothing without the individuals helping us. So I think that's the big issue, is everyone thinks a bad gun bill is going to be stopped or someone's going to stand up and say something. They don't realize they need to be that person. They can't depend on someone else, another gun owner, to speak up. And I'll use the term responsible gun owners this way. I started changing this a couple of weeks ago. To me, a responsible gun owner is someone who's vocal. Is someone who puts their money where their mouth is, basically. They join the groups, the organizations that are doing stuff. And there's a lot of organizations not doing things, but SAF, GOA, in New Jersey with Alexander Rubio with New Jersey Second Amendment Society. They do great work in New Jersey. And I'm from New Jersey. And I keep telling my friends and family, you need to get involved. Well, Jersey's a lost state. No, it's not lost. And I keep saying California's not lost. California's not lost when you have Craig DeLuz there and you have Gina Roberts there and you have Nikki Stout. The state's not lost yet.
Amen.
That's where I'm at with things.
That's exactly right. And, I do think that, too many people just say, well, we've got the Constitution. I haven't read it, but I know it's out there. And so somebody's going to do something and this is our firewall. Well, that all sounds great, right? But it does actually take people doing something. I mean, you go all the way back to Benjamin Franklin. It came out of the meeting. Somebody said, hey, what do we have? And he says, we have a constitutional republic if you can keep it. If you can keep it. Now, how do you keep it? By just sitting home and hoping that somebody else is doing something about it, or by actually getting in the game? And all these names that you've mentioned, the people that you say have inspired you that are in California, keeping the state from being lost, all of that, they are all just people, right? Nobody has any special degree in public speaking necessarily, or, in the constitutional, law or anything like that. They're just people who finally hit a level of their life that they were like, I'm not going to be quiet anymore. It's too important. And so if any of us can do it, any of you out there listening and watching can do it.
Yep. And you know me, Cheryl, I don't like, I'm not a fan of doing these shows, and I don't like standing in front of a crowd talking. So that's not my wheelhouse, not where my comfort zone. But I look at it like this: if I don't do it, who will?
Amen.
So if I have to be uncomfortable for an hour or so, I'll be a little uncomfortable.
Exactly. And I'm really shy too, like you. No? Okay.
Yeah.
I'd slide that in there and see if I could get away with it. I'm sorry, Dan, you've been trying to say something for 10 minutes.
It's all good. I just know that unless if I want to talk to you, I have to put a mic in front of you.
This is true. That's a true story.
Because as soon as that mic's away, not a word.
I'm on my phone texting him.
Yeah, we're driving down the road and she's in the seat beside me and she's texting me.
I don't want to disturb him while he's driving.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
go ahead.
So you text message him not to disturb him while he's driving instead of going,
right.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah. So Kevin, I mean,
I don't know, just roll with it.
I don't know what the numbers are, but we just come from our Second Amendment event here.
Yep.
And, the Arizona,
the big rally, celebrate and protect. Yeah. They
were talking about membership, and it's about not even 5% of the people that live in Arizona that are gun owners are involved. Only about 5%. And it's like, but there's hundreds and thousands of gun owners and they're not doing anything. They're just sitting on their butt. And then one day they're going to wake up and they're not going to have a gun and they're going to go, what happened? Then it's too late. It's going to be too late.
I agree. It's kind of sad.
It really is. And we were talking about that recently with Dave Kopp, who's the president of the AZCDL. Yep. And I don't know if you guys kind of have a percentage for your state in Florida, but we were saying, so our state is, maybe 7 million people. Let's say half of them are gun owners, which is way conservative. Like, pretty much half is a laughable number. It's way more than that. So let's say there's 3 million gun owners in the state of Arizona. 88,000 is their membership. 88,000 people, which is a lot of people. But come on.
Out of 2 million or whatever it is.
Come on.
Yeah.
And you can talk about what your membership is as well, for sure, with Florida Carry. But, it's a very nominal fee to help get in the game, get educated, and have a voice in the conversation.
I know how we can get people involved, the people that are involved, so we can hear Kevin's story. Kevin, how did you get involved?
I grew up my entire life around firearms. I grew up in South Jersey. Never really messed with, was around handguns at all. I knew New Jersey gun laws were bad, but I wasn't really involved the way I am when I moved to Florida. I moved to Florida and I walked in the gun shop and there was handguns and I was like, oh, look at this. I'm in a whole new thing. So I got involved. I got involved shooting handguns and really started, then connected with Florida Carry and really started getting active in the 2A community. Where I really got inspired was at GRPC, the Gun Rights Policy Conference in Tampa in 2016. And the one person that really fired me up was Rick Ector.
Oh yeah. He's amazing.
If you get a chance, go back on YouTube, look up the 2016 Gun Rights Policy Conference, look up Rick Ector's speech. It is absolutely awesome. But it was everyone. I went there, Sarah and I went there and we said, we'll book a hotel. We'll see how it is. If it's we got to wait for a weekend. We'll go do something in Tampa or whatever. We never left the room.
Yeah.
We were down in the conference room the entire time.
Yeah.
And it was, I was like, oh, we should have brought our kids and should have got, type of stuff. So that's where I got inspired. And that's where I became friends with you guys and Amanda and Paul Lathrop and Susan and I have no problem calling you guys up going, hey, I need some advice. What do you think about this? And I try to run things by you guys. So I trust you.
And
that's how I got involved, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the thing is getting you off the couch or getting you out of the range and over to an event. It's almost like we need to take people by the hand and take them to these events.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right. And let me touch on one other thing, Dan. That is something I tell gun owners all the time. And I swear to you, I've had this response at least 50 times. I support the gun community. I support the Second Amendment. I go to the gun range. I buy ammo. That's not supporting the gun community.
Thank you.
No, because a lot of the gun shop owners don't support gun ownership. They really
You're absolutely
don't.
right.
They don't do anything to contact politicians. They don't do anything to encourage people to join memberships. They do nothing but just sell guns, many of them.
Yep. I agree.
No, that's phenomenal. And I'm so excited that I mean, anytime you do something that takes you out of your usual routine or out of your comfort zone, almost always something amazing happens. And clearly that was the case for you and your awesome wife, Sarah. It can even have the backup plan. You're like, if it's really lame, then there's something else we can do. I don't care how you do it, people out there listening. Just do it. Just start somewhere. And then you would have no idea that you were going to be inspired by the people that um, the Second Amendment Foundation had lined up to be speakers at the Gun Rights Policy Conference.
Yep.
And you could specifically remember Rick Ector. I mean,
Yep.
that's an important moment. And so then that's him stepping up. What if he would have said, "Oh, well, I'd love to go speak, but I've got plans for the weekend." It's just a beautiful thing when everyone just does one thing. And you were talking about people who inspire you. Is there somebody, and I know it's hard to play favorites, and I'm putting you on the spot, but is there somebody in your mind that you say, man, when I grow up, I want to be like
Amanda Suffolk.
Suffolk, right? That's my hashtag. That's my. I want to be like Amanda Suffolk.
I don't know where she gets the energy. I don't know where you get the energy. And I tell people all the time, like my top 5 in the 2A community, 3 are women.
Oh, wow.
That I look
huge.
up to. People are shocked, like, really? And you're one of them. Amanda's one. Amy Dillon. Mm-hmm. So it's like, all right, you guys are doing the stuff that I want to do. Mm-hmm. You guys are out there. I'm not going to say you're not afraid, because you get nervous doing things, but you step out of that comfort zone and you do it because it needs to be done.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with it.
That's amazing.
Then it turns out after that the comfort zone is doing that, and everything else is scary.
Yeah.
So Cheryl's happy place is speaking.
Yeah.
And
no, I was shy.
And so,
remember? I said that a few minutes ago.
Yeah. So it does change things if you just get up and do it.
No, go ahead.
That's the thing that still amazes me about this event is I don't really have to go after individuals and be like, hey, would you like to come to the event and speak? Because it's growing. Somehow it's gained traction. People know what it is now, and they're like, hey, how do I become a part of this?
Yeah.
And I'll give you. I'm excited. The other day, Sticky Holsters contacted me, and they're like, hey, we've been following what's going on. Can we get involved? Absolutely. Come on. Then they're asking me, what does it cost for them to set up a table? Nothing. Come on out. It'll help the community. The one I'm really excited about is DC Project. Yes. They're going to be involved this year with this event.
Yes.
So I know you can comment better on DC Project than I can probably.
Well, and I absolutely will take that invitation. And that takes us back to the one and only and amazing Amanda Suffolk as well. That is where she and I met. And so DC Project is the brainchild of Diana Muller. She's a 22-year law enforcement veteran out of Oklahoma who when she retired, she became a competitive shooter. And so during the Obama years, really, I mean, I'm maybe, putting words in her mouth there, but that's when I started seeing things personally just falling apart as far as, guns were no longer just a tool that you owned in your household. Now they are this thing to be vilified. And if you are owner of a gun, then you're to be vilified. And heaven forbid you should own a gun store and sell those things. And so from Diana's perspective, she was like, here we have, this tool that I used in my job as a law enforcement officer. And now I use it in my competitive sports, and it's being vilified all the time. And so she felt like, if I could just talk to every single legislator on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. and help them understand me better, know who I am and why I use this tool and why I value my rights, I think we could move the needle. And she's like, but I'm just one person, right? But then she goes, wait a minute, I know Amanda Suffolk, and I know, if I can get a woman from every state to help me, well, now we've got this. It's hard to use words like force multiplier now because
Yep.
everybody's like, oh, you're inciting violence. No, I'm not inciting violence. I'm saying, you have more people acting together and speaking on the same topic. It moves the needle farther. And so that's really DC Project is gun rights for women, women for gun rights.
Mhm.
And the counter visual and the counter message of this group out there who call themselves Moms Demand Action, who are basically saying, if you're a mom, a good mom, then you would have nothing to do with these tools. And the DC Project ladies, we're saying, no, protecting our children is part of the reason why we do own the tools.
It's your number one priority.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are mama bears, but we weren't born with, sharp teeth and sharp claws. So
Yep.
we've used.
Are you sure?
My husband can only say, right? But no, it's important that we have learned how to use certain tools to protect our own lives so that we can then protect our children's lives. But that was I took too much of your interview time, but
No.
But the DC Project is just so amazing. And you're going to have several of us DC Project ladies at your event.
Yep. Yeah. Yourself, Amanda, of course, Amy Dillon.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another lady from Naples, Florida coming up, and I cannot remember her name now. I think she's the state leader for the DC Project.
And I should know too. And
drawing
also
a blank.
Gina Roberts. Yes.
Yep, Gina Roberts. Yep.
So
Gina's going to be sitting on our panel of for diversity that we're going to have.
Absolutely. Gina is a trans woman. She's like the president of the Log Cabin Republicans in San Diego, I think. I mean, just very politically active, which is, it's a hard thing because the Second Amendment isn't political. But yet, we always have to kind of say, well, this person's politically active. So what can you make a distinction about that for our listeners? Like what is that about? If it's in our Bill of Rights, which means it's for everybody, which means it's non-political, why are we politically active to try to protect it?
Yeah, it makes zero sense. I don't know. It's just so, the thought process of some things are absolutely insane. I can't wrap my head around some of the things that we hear. It's the same thing having Gina Roberts come out to the event, and the Constitution, the Second Amendment is for everyone. Everyone has the right to defend themselves. No one has the right to force their will upon someone else.
Right.
It's like we may gather with individuals that we may not agree on certain things, but we agree they have the right to do what they need to do, as long as they're not hurting anyone. Absolutely. And they have the right to be free and have the right to defend themselves. Absolutely. So we have to defend everyone's rights. It's not, and that's kind of where the panel is going to come into play to a community. It's freedom, not fear. And we'll have individuals that'll speak on the diversity of the 2A community, because as you know, the 2A community is very diverse.
It is.
We have every gamut of individuals involved in 2A community, and we break bread with them. We have great conversations with them. We're friends with them. So it's like, I think the anti-gunners like to pin it on, the Second Amendment is not just for old white guys. Sorry, Dan, not just for old white guys.
No, I agree with that. And I've seen that in the changes that it's made. And I'll tell you, that's what makes it strong. And it's getting stronger is because every group is invited, every person is invited, and it's not exclusive to any just white people or old white people or, and that's just like, for instance, women. Look what the gun industry, look what's happened to the gun industry since women got involved. It's if we'd have done this in the 50s, we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
Yep. I'll give you a crazy idea of how kind of point to how the thought process is. I was on another Facebook group and I was just praising the event that Rick Ector held. 2 days, we had 1,938 women come through his course.
That's crazy. So
and we were
awesome.
all there to help and volunteer, almost 2,000 women. And I commented on that probably 50% of the women there never fired a handgun before in their life, or a gun, period.
Right.
And about 85% were Black females.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a white lady on a group tell me, I'm only there to get them killed. And I said, wait, what? What do you, oh, you're only there to have Black women own firearms so they're gunned down by the cops. And I thought, how do you comprehend that? How does that even come into your mind? No, we're there so they can defend themselves, no matter what, no matter where they're at, in their home, walking down the sidewalk, in their car. They have the tool, they understand. Rick had some great firearms instructors at that event, and there was a lot of women there that were really nervous, and everyone went through, sat on the line, and either sent 10 or 20 rounds downrange. It was an incredible event, and they all walked out with their targets and smiling.
Yes.
So hopefully,
and then they went home and they got on social media and they got to all their friends and said, look at this.
Yeah.
And then they started buying guns, and their husbands were happy because now they could have more guns, and everything's a happy world. That's what it's going to take. We've got to take people by the hand that have never shot a gun before and take them shooting, get them introduced into this industry, and it's not stoppable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Speaking of Facebook pages, as we start wrapping up here a little bit, you run several different Facebook groups and pages. Talk to us about what those are, and we will start kind of wrapping up a little bit.
Yep. Well, I guess the first one would be the America Under Distress page that I run. That started, I think, in 2013 when I got booted from a group for giving an opinion, not for being mean, nasty, just they didn't agree with my opinion. So I created that group and said, you know what, everything is a go. We're not going to censor anyone. Doesn't mean anyone's going to get away with anything, but we're not going to censor it. It's free. And I looked at the thing and I said, well, if someone wants to be an idiot, who am I to stop them from showing the world who they are?
Yeah.
So I left things up. And the other one is City Tavern Talk.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be turning into a podcast.
Ooh, big announcement.
Thing. And City Tavern Talk is started by myself and my buddy, Stephen Jenkins. And it is basically, it goes back to our founding fathers in Philadelphia meeting at a tavern.
Mm-hmm.
So it was called City Tavern. So that's where we came up with the City Tavern Talk. It'll be very 2A related, but it's not going to be all 2A related. It'll definitely heavily lean that way. Mm-hmm. But we're going to talk in general, local politics, things like that. And just kind of like this, just sitting there having a conversation at a city tavern. So that is starting. And I have the Facebook group, Guns and Son, mm-hmm. which is set up just as not political. I don't want any news stories in it. I just want people to share on their new purchases, guns that mean a lot to them, things like that. Just fun stories, how they got involved. No politics. I don't care how, nothing like that. That's what all the other groups are for. Yeah. So Guns and Son was just set up for just people sharing their stories.
Very
cool. And Florida Carry, of course, floridacarry.org and our Facebook page.
Absolutely. That's an important one. And so give us the address of the Facebook page. I mean, the website, and also, how do people support Florida Carry? And, it's a membership, yep. I would assume. Talk us through that.
Easiest way to find us is floridacarry.org. We just revamped and redone our website. We're still doing some things to it. But I think there's 4 membership levels that you can join, everywhere from a lifetime member to a $25 annual member. We also have an NFA trust membership. So if you apply for that, you also get an NFA trust. So you'll see some of the stuff on the website that we're working on now. We have 2 lawsuits, big lawsuits going right now against FDLE. Florida Department of Law Enforcement. One is for the background check fee. So basically, if you're a police officer or a concealed carry license holder, you're exempt from the background check fee, which is the $5 fee. Now, no one's been exempt from it. So we are in the process of suing for that. We are also suing for FDLE again for the background check condition pending, or what is the word I'm looking for?
Delayed.
Delayed, basically, and they're just making up their own laws, making up their own rules. So we filed a lawsuit against that.
Well, Kevin, you're saying that if you have a concealed carry in Florida, you still have to have a Florida background check?
You have to do the background check, but you're exempt from the $5 background check fee.
What sense does it make to have to do a background check in Florida if you've already got a concealed carry permit?
We've been saying that for years.
If you don't have a clean background, take the permit away from them.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
They're taking a step that they can, and I think that's amazing. So yeah, I think everybody in Florida, or even not in Florida, needs to support, because I'm a member. We're out here in Arizona, and I'm a member of Florida Carry, supporting what y'all are doing. So,
and thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you for all that you're doing. All right. One more time, tell folks how they can come and be a part of this amazing Freedom Not Fear camping event.
The best way to find us is on the Florida Carry Facebook page, or me directly. Look up my name, Kevin Sona, on Facebook. Shoot me a friend request. Basically, I made it a Facebook event. It was the best way to kind of track the numbers so we know how much food to purchase. By the way, the food is being donated by the firearm firm, Katz and Phillips Law Firm.
Food.
So
you had me at food.
I'm blessed in that it takes a lot of weight off our shoulders on not having to come up with the funds for all the food that we're buying. There's going to be a lot of food. My goal is 300 people. If we can get 300 people there this year, that's my goal.
All right.
I actually want Steven to tell me, that's it. We can't fit any more people in the building. We got to take it outside. That's my goal.
Awesome.
So, but just look me up on Facebook. The event's there.
Fantastic. Kevin Sona, thank you so much for all that you do. I am excited to see you very, very soon on Saturday, March 20th at the Runaway Campers in Summerville, Florida?
Summerfield.
When is it? March what?
20th.
Okay.
Right. Saturday, March 20th.
Practically.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks again so much, Kevin. We will talk soon.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Kevin.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you. I can't get over that. So you have a concealed carry permit.
Yeah.
Federal law says if you have a concealed carry permit from the state that you reside in, you can purchase a gun without a background check.
Okay.
Florida issues these concealed carry permits.
Yep.
But then you still got to do a background check to buy a gun.
Because the government will do what we let them do. Actually, that's the thing that we need to be reminded of and get back to, and we do have to wrap up, is that the government derives its power where from? Where does it derive its power? From us,
right.
The governed. They can only do what we have let them do, and we continue to let them do. We have to get back to the mindset that we don't work for them. They don't have power over us. They only have power that we give them. We are the bosses.
So we're telling them what they can do to us.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about it like that.
Please infringe on me lots is basically what we've been saying.
Right. And the people that are anti-gun, keep this in mind. If they'll do it on guns, they'll do it on everything. Your rights to speak, your rights to travel. They're already talking about, if you don't have the vaccine, you can't get on an airplane. Well, there's a lot of people that don't like to fly, but they have relatives in other states. It might be a state that's connected. They're not going to be able to go to that state.
Right. So you have to put some foreign thing into your body.
Right.
And
so why? Because we let them. We let them.
Yeah.
We let them tell us what we can do. Oh my gosh. Would that work on a school ground with a bully?
I don't know, babe.
You let them do it.
That is a great thought process. And I hope that people will kind of, chew on it for a while. Think about it for a while.
Spit it out.
Spit it out. Yeah.
Get it out, man.
But, if you do take it and you think about a bully on a playground and, who is going to come and tell the bully to stop it?
I'm a grown old man. I could say another word. But...
I'm a grown old man. I love that.
And you can tell me what to do. Hey, we need to pray for our nation.
We do. We need to pray for our leaders.
We don't have any leaders, remember.
Okay.
Not anymore. I'm not giving them permission to be my leaders. They're representatives.
I like it.
We'll pray for them.
Okay.
Pray for the representatives.
How about the ones you don't like?
Pray for them.
Even maybe especially.
Because they're trying to be leaders.
The ones you don't like?
Pray for them.
All right, folks, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much to our amazing guest today, Kevin Sona. Please check out the event that he's holding. This is Saturday, March 20th of 2021. It's going to be an amazing event. Go to the Facebook page and check that out. It's called the Freedom Not Fear speaker event in Florida. And until next time, be good to each other. Have a great week. And God bless.
Bye-bye.